Welcome to Find Your Fridays with me, Lorene, your intuitive connector for this evening. Wow, each Friday evening mostly, isn't it? Let me just finish off this lovely background stuff that I have to do, and then we can really dig into this week's show. Oh my goodness. Facebook, come on. Seriously, my friends. This is ridiculous. I think that's all of them. Come on. Thank you. Crazy times, I tell you. And there we go. In that one. Lovely but jubblies. Cool. That's that now done. Hi, Edwina. How are you, darling? Hello, Terry. Thank you for being with us. And let's get rid of that now. Yay. We're back here. We're back here. We're back here. We're back here. Back here. Back square. Oh, goodness. Oh, that's going to be a good blend for us tonight. Oh, dear. How are we all doing? How are you doing, Edwina? How's your week been treating you? Has it been treating you well? I hope it has. I surely do. My cup of tea is a good little blend. In fact, I've actually made a pot today. I've made a pot of tea. It just felt like the kind of day for a pot of tea, you know. Unfortunately, though, I burnt the roof of my mouth with eating my dinner because I was like so eager to have my dinner. I put it in a bit too quick and I didn't let it cool down enough, and I burnt the roof of my mouth. So it's a good thing that my tea isn't too hot. All right. Well, seeing as though, Edwina, it looks like it's just you here mostly at the moment. Which way, team, would you like to go? Weekly reading first. Okay. Who wishes to come play for the weekly reading? Okay. Cool. Finally, nice to have the autumn weather with us, isn't it? It's lovely. I like it. I like it a lot. It was one of my favourite parts of being in Tasmania, was having the slightly cooler temperatures after having a very hot summer that we had this year. Very hot, and it seemed to go on forever, didn't it? Long time. So let's have a look at the weekly reading for the collective for the 9th through to the 15th, which is just into the shadow period of the new moon. See what we're up for. And then I will read out a little bit of some of the things I found just before we really read these. Oh, that card. Cool. Hi, Melinda. You agree, the cool weather's here. Hi, Tamara. I had a interesting day. I had a fabulous start to my day because I got to catch up with a friend who literally lives like 10 minutes drive away from me. But we haven't seen each other since the start of the year. So that was really good for a few hours this morning. That was really cool. And then I was supposed to be getting my gas cooktop changed over for an electric one today, but the plumber decided to not turn up and blamed it on a family emergency. Family emergencies happen. I get it. But still. And they didn't tell the landlord. So the landlord didn't tell me, and they were supposed to be here between 11 and 1. And at 3, I said, so what happened to the plumber? And they go, oh, sorry, we didn't save your number. Silly. Thank you, Tamara. This is a new jumper. It's actually a birthday gift. And today, I'm not generally a brooch wearing person, but this wee brooch here, it's actually a wee butterfly. I don't know if you guys, oh yeah, you can just see that. And it's actually my great-grandmother's. It's my great-grandmother on my mum's dad's side. So, yeah, it just seemed to be that I just wished to be there, and I love it. It's actually quite heavy. So even though my grandmother was like, oh, you can have whatever you want of her jewelry, you know, it's only cheap shit anyway. I don't know, because there's a bit of heft to this. So I don't care if it's valuable to, you know, a jewelry collector or whatever. It doesn't really bother me. I just like it because it, you know, it's a family thing. And she didn't have much, my granddad's mum, but I value what she did have, and she did pass on. So yeah. So yes, this is a lovely birthday gift from Terry, if she pops back in here. She actually gave it to me as part of a birthday gift, which is really lovely. And I agree. As my hair has gotten more sparkly, these lighter pastel colours are coming into my my wardrobe more and more, which is really neat. But I do like the dark moodiness too of the deep reds and blues and greens, and I love that too. All right, so just before we get into the actual reading, so I actually prepared a little bit today. Amazing! And I asked, what planets are affecting us right now? So as of the 8th of May, we are primarily influenced by Taurus energy, which is the sun, our sun energy, of course, which is Sun and Mercury, which encourages grounding and stability, a high energy Aries stellium, which is Mars, Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron, prompting action, structural changes, and visionary shifts. Additionally, Venus in Gemini highlights social interaction. So if you feel like you want to get out and about more now, after a period of time of feeling a little bit like ho-hum, like you want a hermit, that'll be why. And also Pluto in Aquarius retrograde is encouraging deeper internal transformation. So Sun and Mercury in Taurus focuses on practical thinking, financial grounding, and sensory enjoyment. Mars in Aries boosts initiative, ambition, and potently impatient or impulsive actions. Watch out for that one. We all know how Aries can be. Wouldn't know about that at all. Saturn and Neptune in Aries brings a blend of restructuring and spiritual or idealistic changes. Venus in Gemini encourages curiosity, networking, and intellectual connections. Pluto retrograde in Aquarius promotes a re-evaluating long-term goals and social connections. And the moon, of course, which changes every 2 to 3 days, currently is moving through Capricorn, which is about emotional stability, ambition, and is moving into Aquarius. The key aspects and current energy: Mercury square Jupiter, may lead to overthinking, excessive optimism, or scattering your energy on too many ideas. I wouldn't know what that's like at all. For all of you fellow ADHDers out there, don't be surprised if you flit from project to project at this time. Venus sextile Neptune provides inspiration, creativity, and romantic idealistic energy. Interesting. And Uranus in Gemini following its great ingress, this brings sudden changes to communication, technology, and social structures. Okay, so yeah, that's what we're up for at the minute. All right, so just have a little reflect on that and go, okay, have I noticed any of those things popping up lately? Because I certainly know a lot of that's been popping up in my world, that's for sure. And it's been good. You know, last week I was very introverted. I was very ponderous. Pensive is the word. I was very pensive last week. Spent a lot of time by myself, and it was a good thing. I required that. This week, though, it's been back out and chatting to people and getting things moving and changed and getting things trucking along again, which has been really lovely. So let us have a look at these cards for this week to come. Interesting. The first card that we've got, so Truth. Hang on, I just need to double check something. Yeah. Okay. This leads into something that I was actually going to talk a little bit later about, but apparently I require to tell you about it sooner rather than later, but I'll do this part of the card reading first and then I'll say why. So the first card that we've got up is Rose, which is about attracting a relationship. And this is the relationship with you. This is not about a relationship with anybody else. This is about you having a look at how are you showing up in the world. And if you are desiring a relationship, this is a really big indication, an invitation to you to have a look at what I've seen some people talk about recently of the juice effect, right? In that when you're under pressure, or if you're in a relationship, when your partner's under pressure, when that squeeze comes, what juice is shown? What juice comes out of you? And this is a really good one for how is your relationship with yourself. So when the pressure is on you, or if you make a mistake, or something happens and it's not turned out the way you would have expected it to, how do you show up for you? This is what this relationship with you is all about. How do you communicate to yourself? How do you show yourself that, you know, okay, mistakes happen, it's okay, we will handle this? How do you handle those sort of more like emergency type situations? Do you break down in a puddle of, you know, something on the floor, or do you just kind of like grin through it, bear through it, and then, you know, have a slow let down afterwards, or do you crash quickly afterwards? There's lots of different ways that we show our body that it's safe to show up. And a lot of those ways is how we speak and think about ourselves. And, you know, some people go, I'm so bad at manifesting, for example, right? Not true for me, by the way. Clean and clear, all of that. But some people say that sort of stuff, and then they wonder why all these things keep popping up into their world that are what they deem as bad luck or negative or that sort of thing, right? And they've actually manifested that. They created that because they've already decided that they're terrible at doing things. And it's not true. You're actually excellent at it. It's just you've got to ask the right stuff. And yes, we all make mistakes. Yes, we all stumble at times, especially on this lovely growth journey called consciousness, and, you know, going through our different levels and layers and the healings and all that sort of stuff. Of course, we stumble from time to time. But the biggest grace is the grace that we can give ourselves, the forgiveness that we can give ourselves to say, okay. And of course, with that forgiveness comes action. And the relationship that you have with yourself of what happens when you muck up, right? Do you go, oh, I forgive me, and I'm, you know, I'll try not to do that again. And when you do it again, I go, oh, forgive me. Oh, I stumbled. Blah, 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 blah. And after the 20th time of doing the same bloody action, do you actually pull yourself up and go, dude, enough's enough. Clearly this doesn't work for us. So let's choose something else. Let's do something else. Let's do this a different way. And for me, those moments happen quite often at big pivot points in my life, either, and often like an ending of sorts, whether it be career, relationship, living situation, moving countries, you know, those bigger moments tend to be those moments where I go and do really deep self and reflection and introspection, and be really brutally honest with myself, especially if it's a breakdown of some sort. It's like, whether it be a work type thing or whatever, it's like I look at that and I go, okay, what was my part to play in that? What energy did I bring? What was my juice that contributed to this cocktail? And because it is a cocktail, it's a lot of different energies coming in together. So what's your juice towards yourself this week? All right. Part 1. All right. Awaken creativity. As we just heard with all the planets and stuff, we've got a lot of creative energies floating around. So don't be surprised. Get that little notebook out, write down the stuff, or make a little thing on your phone, a little note on your phone, all your creative ideas as they pop into your mind, because there'll be lots of them floating around this week. Okay. And trust me, write them down, because otherwise they're likely to float in and float out again. Ruby. So we've got 2 lovely deep red colors. Ruby is about a rejuvenate your body. So with all of this lovely creative energy floating around, a couple of things can happen. One of them can be you're not hungry at all. The other can be you get very hungry. And the very hungry part can come from you not satisfying that creative energy. Okay, so we try to satisfy creative energy with food, or sometimes with shopping or other sort of addictive type stuff. So just be aware of that. If you find yourself starting to dive into habits that are perhaps not quite so good for us or our bank account, and come back to, oh, what is my body actually asking for here? Is it asking for more movement? Is it asking for me to go for a walk? Is it asking for me to get out and see someone? Is it asking for me to get into nature? Like, is it asking for me to just get into the garden and, you know, tend to the garden a little bit? There's always something to do. So this is a reminder that the body is probably going to be speaking a little bit and wants some movement or something this week. Maybe something a little bit out of the usual. Part 4 for this week for the collective is Pearl, which is connect to the divine. Now, you'd sort of go, well, duh. Do we really require a reminder to do that on a daily basis? Yes, we do. Because life, and unless you're in this kind of field all day or most days, you do kind of forget, don't you? You might forget to check in with your team. Quite often my team rings in my ears in the morning, so I can't forget about my team. I'm like, oh, hello team, how are you this morning? But also the divine is you. Connect to the divine within. So it's a lot of body type stuff this week. It's a lot of enjoying being in your body. It's about connecting with your body. Do that connection exercise that we like, the breathing, the expanding out exercise that we do, because that simple moment, especially at the beginning, where we take those 3 rounds of breath, where we're breathing in through to the belly and breathing out. We breathe in. You can do it with me if you like. Breathe in nice and deep into the belly. Bring mother energy all the way up. Breathing out, bringing father sky energy all the way down. Bring mother earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And father sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Even if that was the only thing you did on a daily basis, I guarantee you, at the end of the week, you will feel more balanced and settled, and perhaps even a little bit calmer within yourself. I know that when I practice that on a daily basis, that I do feel calmer. I do tap into that place of safety within me. And that's the beauty of just that little 3 rounds of breath. Beautiful. Or even 4 if you want to extend it out just a touch. So connect to the divine within. All right. And a yummy card. It's imagination. Oh, I love how these cards work. So yes, which of course is right up there with this one here. Okay, which is your amber, your creativity, and also to do with the planets and all that sort of stuff. So we're spot on tonight. Get out there, use your imagination, write your things down as these little moments of inspiration pop into your mind. Make sure you write them down as well, and amazing things will happen by the end of the week, I'm sure. If not, new business ideas, maybe it's new crafting projects, or maybe new ways to connect to other people. It might be a solution to something that you've been trying to, nut out for a few weeks or whatever. That's the creativity. It doesn't necessarily mean craft. Sometimes it can actually mean within business. So there could be a personnel type problem that's going on. It could be, and that's something that you needed to get creative with. There could be a manufacturing problem. There could be a flow type problem of, how it could even be how you're going to get the rosters to work. It could be anything. And for financials, maybe things are a little bit tight at your house. And with all of this beautiful creative energy floating around, and if you started to tap into that, I wonder what sort of creative options would pop, or possibilities would pop up for you that would help you to create and generate more finances and prosperity into your world. Something that I did that was a little bit different this week before popping onto the show. I normally I have a specific playlist that I listen to, which just really gets me into my witchy woo feminine side before coming in. And one of the things that I did that was a little bit different today was actually I did the Green Tara mantra 108 times. And for those of you who are familiar with it, it is Taritu Tariture Soha. And I tell you what, I got to about 50 and the pressure started to come on. I could feel it in my body. It was like, and I was just observing, right? What happens as I say it? And then I got to about 80 and it was like, oh, come on, isn't that enough? Like I could hear my ego starting to kick in going, isn't that enough? Haven't you done enough now? And I just carried on. And then just as I got to like 104, it was like everything started lightening up and just getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And then by the time I got to 108, I felt like I was flying. Like I felt so high. And I was like, wow, this is cool. So, Melinda, if you haven't done Taritu Tarituri Soha 108 times and you're feeling a little bit like funky, give it a go. Give it a try. So to add to that lovely deliciousness, tonight my tea is from, I think they call themselves Holistic Health or something like that. I can't remember exactly because I've taken their label and put it on a jar. And this label is from the tea blend called Winter Blues. And it is blue lotus petals, butterfly pea flower, coltsfoot, damania, herb robert, lavender, mullein, sacred tulsi, and with a hint of lime peel. As you can see, there's not an awful lot left in here at all. I've got maybe enough for, if I stretch it, for two more cups or two more pots. I tend to want to stretch this one out, so I must get some more so I don't have to stretch it. But the other thing I added to this was actually a little bit more blue lotus because I do have that separately. And with all of this beautiful goddess work that we've been doing, or ascended master work that we've been doing over the last few months, many of them actually refer to sitting on a lotus flower. And I don't know, I just felt like it was the day to bring in a bit more lotus into this mix. So I might be a little bit more floaty today. I'm also sitting on my yoga ball, so that's fun. And just while we're on to sharing, I'd love to know, how are you guys going? How are you all doing? How are you going with the changes of energy? How are you going now that we're definitely into May now? We're very much in that Taurus energy, the changing of the seasons. How are you all feeling? Fabulous idea, Melinda. So this is what Melinda has suggested. She might change her walking mantra from the Ho'oponopono prayer to Om Taritu Tarituri Soha as I take each step. I love it. I love that idea. I don't know how many steps it would take to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 steps per one thing times 108. There you go. Oh dear. That would be 540 steps. All right. So in the other things, so I mentioned last week, maybe before I went away on holidays, that my embroidery learning is coming along really good. So this is the first sampler stitch I completed. See if I can show you guys really well. Okay, so there's lots of different stitches and stuff there. I really like the part in the middle, like with all the flowers and stuff. I'm not going to go into the details of how and what I did, and that was different, but it was really cool. Not yesterday, the day before. No, what was the Wednesday? I finally finished this one, which I started before I went on holidays, and it has been washed, and I left it in the hoop to dry this time to see what that would do. And I'm pretty stoked with how that one's come out. So this is all the lovely embroidery stitches, and I did a few different things, like this here is the fishbone stitch, and this is the reverse side of the fishbone stitch. And because I really liked the reverse side of this, well, up here, this fishbone stitch here. And so I was like, ooh, I'm going to see if I can do that over here. So it looks a little bit like a variegated leaf, which was really cool. So yeah, and the back of it is looking pretty tidy. I'm okay with that. When I was raised that your back should be pretty much as tidy as the front, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. How did the back of that one? Yeah, that one's pretty cool too. This one didn't have nearly as much lettering on it, so it was a lot easier to keep that one looking a bit tidier. But yeah, not bad, eh? So I've got one more to do, and then I'll be on to doing my other projects that I have in mind that are coming in. They're up here. See, remember this whole amber creativity thing? That. Oh dear. So it's all coming along nicely. All right. Cool bananas. All righty. So first up tonight, we have, so I'd love to know in the chat, what things are on your creative bucket list this week? I would like to get the third one done because it's less complicated than all of those. And so it shouldn't take nearly as long. So I'd like to get that done. Tamara's been crocheting like crazy now that it's colder in Queensland, which reminds me, I downloaded a pattern today. So it's a crocheted witchy fairy doll thing. So I must get to and actually put that on the computer and print it out. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm very much in the embroidery wheelhouse at the minute, rather than the crochet, but I love it. I did see a fabulous set of t-shirts today, which I know, Tamara, you will absolutely appreciate. It goes, that's what I do. I read books, I crochet, and I know things. It was one of them. It goes, yes, I like to crochet. No, I'm not old. I only buy yarn when I need it for a project, or because it's pretty, or just because I want it. I'm very careful with that. I try not to do that because I've seen what can happen. This one cracked me up though. It goes, how to knit. I stab it, I strangle it, I scoop the guts out, I throw it off the cliff. That just made me laugh so much. And then just like reading, let me just finish this row. And that's literally got it with a crochet hook. And I'm like, oh, I do that all the time. And then I regret it the next day when I go back and I have a look and I go, oh, damn, I shouldn't have. I should have just left it. Because your eyes tend to be going, you know, cross-eyed and things are just not looking good. So, one last thing. One last thing. So I saw this today, this quote from Carl Jung, and it says, loneliness is not the absence of people around us, but the inability to express what truly matters within us. And that's why I was talking about this card. And there was something else I wanted to bring to you guys' attention. Okay. And this insight suggests that loneliness isn't simply about being physically alone, but about feeling unheard or unable to communicate one's deeper thoughts and emotions. In today's highly connected world, it still feels relevant. Consistent communication doesn't necessarily lead to real understanding or emotional intimacy. The idea also echoes Carl Jung's broader reflections on inner isolation and the complexities of human connection. And that's what I'm talking about here. Are you lonely within yourself? Do you allow yourself to be heard by yourself? What is your inner child asking for? I was watching this week, I watched a series called Say I Do. It's, as you can imagine, it's about weddings. And the one today, they all touched me in different ways. If you've ever watched Queer Eye, which is the makeover show, but it's more than a makeover show, very similar to that. It's got one of the cast members from that is in this one too. And what really struck me today, the episode that I watched today, was it was these two gay guys. And one of them had come out several years beforehand, but was still trying to be straight as such and not actually let his inner self be seen. And I'm just like, that is just, I so hear that. I so feel that. It's like they were both so worried about how their family and friends and stuff would judge them for being outwardly gay, that they tried holding themselves back. They didn't hold hands. They didn't touch out in public. They didn't kiss each other out in public. Not even a peck on the cheek. And it was breaking their hearts. So it's kind of my invitation to you. Like, that's so lonely for them. And so this is, along with the reading from this week, especially with this rose card, if you're truly listening to your heart's desire, your inner child, the things that make you sparkle and light up, what would you choose? Seeing these two beautiful men stand there in their crowns because they decided to get married with a crown on their heads. One of the guy who was being so reserved, finally letting his metallics and sparkles shine, and he was in this gorgeous emerald green sparkly jacket, and it was stunning. And the other guy was in this lovely sort of it was a very Baroque type patterned jacket. It was golds and reds and things like that, and it was just stunning. And the two of them looked beautiful together, and it was just like, yes. And you should have seen their smiles. They were just like beaming, absolutely beaming, but they were sparkling in their eyes. Whereas earlier in the show, you could see that there was so much anger and frustration and grief and all of that hiding their actual natural sparkle. And it was like just so beautiful to see. So if you're not hiding your sparkle, what would you choose? How would you choose to be out in the world? I wonder. Tamara, that's how I knit too. There's a reason I crochet. Oh, I love it. Yes. I'm not a fan of two needles. I can knit. I can knit pretty well. I've done lots of it, but I just prefer to crochet. So that's cool. Terry says, awesome embroidery, Lorene. Did you get the embroidery book pictures I sent you? Yes, I did. Thank you, but no thanks right now, because I'm not looking for any of that sort of craft right now. And they weren't embroidery. I think they were actually crochet, which is different. And thank you for the top, Terry. I appreciate it so much. Tamara, I want to create wristbands, earrings, and things with cotton yarn. Sort of things with cotton yarn. Beautiful. Knitting is too hard to fix. When I mess up, crochet is more forgiving. Yeah, it can be. It can be. Depending on what you're creating, of course. Clothes is always really hard. Clothes is hard, especially armholes and things like that. That's tricky. Vanilla and Pie, hello, good evening. Great activation for him to bring out his sparkle. Yes, it was. And you could just see there was a lot more to the show. And if you watch it on Netflix, it's the last episode of the 8. And I kind of maybe binge watched them earlier in the week when I was at home sick. I tried to gas myself. Yay. Not so yay, but anyway. I say that lightly. But yes, it was an interesting moment. Safe to say, this is my PSA, and then I'll get back into readings and stuff. High levels of urine crystals, so dried urine, and bleach don't mix well. Or rather, they mix a little too well. They get a little too excited. And they release very toxic gases. And those toxic gases can make you do very strange things to your vision, give you headaches, make your fingers tingle, make you feel vomiting, can fuck up your didn't for me, thank goodness, but it can mess with your breathing. Yeah. So yeah. don't recommend. I don't recommend at all. No. So just be aware of that. If you do choose to use bleach on things that have lots of urine on them, be very careful. Be in a very well ventilated space if you can, and if not, respirator. That's a really good idea. Yeah, I ended up having to have a whole day off work because things were just not right. So woke up the next morning still very achy in the muscles and stuff like that, as the toxins were still working through, but just stayed really, really hydrated. I don't even know how much water I drank. I drank loads of Tulsi tea with a bit of honey in it, and because Tulsi is really fabulous for that sort of thing. And anti-inflammatory and anti all the things, as well as it helps to shift out heavy metals and things like that. So yeah, I got an unintended day off work. But that meant that once I'd actually woken up after having a lot of sleep, I was like, okay, I'm kind of bored, but I don't have enough energy to do much. So I just sat and watched Netflix and happened to stumble across that because I wanted something that felt kind of light and feel good. But it was good because it made me cry a lot. And you know how you just sometimes you need something that's going to make you cry. Good tears, happy tears, not sad tears. All right. Edwina, my love. Hello, Catherine. You're not late. Oh, yeah, feeling all good now. As you can see, I'm here. If I wasn't feeling good, I wouldn't be here right now. But no, I was back to work on Thursday. Just a little older and a little wiser. Because it was just because I was really invested on getting this toilet clean. And it's a toilet where it just has not seen the right amount of care for a while. So, yeah. If you are ever in that situation, I highly recommend hot soapy water. And let the hot soapy water on a cloth just sit on the urine crystals and let it dissolve it that way. Don't try to speed up the process with bleach. It'll do the job, but it'll also do the job on you too. All right. And what would Edwina's team like to tell Edwina? Terry, I will have a look, but as I said, I'm not super into crochet right now. Maybe next winter. Catherine, we're talking about creative projects. I'd love to know, what sort of creative things do you like to do, if anything? And that can be gardening, if you like to garden, or whatever. Maybe you like to do art. Maybe you like to do things like, you know, Tara and I do with our crochet. Card making. Maybe you really, really, really like solving problems. That can be quite creative. I'm curious. Perhaps you like to make jewellery. I've made jewellery in the past. Jewellery's quite addictive. Super creative too, but yeah, it can definitely be quite addictive. I've dabbled in so many different things, and I don't know if it's just because, you know, it's my creative area nature, or because, you know, I have both sides of my family were very creative, like both mum and dad, super creative people. I remember dad getting a sandblasting machine, and he was creating templates and things and putting them onto cups, like beer mugs and jars and all sorts of things, and using the sandblaster and etching the pattern into the glass. I remember him doing that. He did all of the stenciling, like the painted stenciling. I'm pretty sure it was him, or maybe it was my mum. Not sure actually. One or the other did all the stenciling on the work van with the numbers, like the phone number and the name of the business and stuff. Doll painting. Ooh. That's one I haven't gotten into. So Catherine said home decor, doll painting, gardening, and knitting. Fantastic. What sort of things are you working on at the moment, Catherine? Love to know. Oh, which reminds me. Okie dokie. So, Miss Edwina, your first card is Find Balance. So this is from the Karen K Oracle of the Fairies deck. Here we go. Here's a pretty little one. And it says, find balance between your work, rest, and playtime, and you will have more energy, harmony, and productivity in your life. Take a power nap. Now, my grandmother, who kept working, by the way, she turned 90 this week. She kept working until she was 81 years old, and she was working as a cook in the hospital kitchen. And she used to do that very successfully by taking little wee power naps on her breaks, 10 minutes. No more, no less, just 10 minutes. And she would do that all the time, like as in just on her breaks at work, obviously. But throughout her entire adult working life, that is what she's done. Even when we'd go off to horse shows and stuff like that, she'd just pop up into the horse truck, go for a 10-minute power nap, bam, she'd be back out again. And she's definitely passed that on to me, because I can definitely take a power nap and do quite well off of that for several hours. But when you're a busy working mum, this power nap thing, it's absolutely a gift. Okay. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You've probably heard this before. Does it apply to you, or perhaps someone you know? Are you working too hard and not allowing yourself enough time for rest and play? Are you feeling bored, or are you in danger of becoming boring? Be truthful with yourself when answering. Even though fairies are known to be super hard workers, they also know how to rest and play. The fairies are flying in now to remind you to take a break and give your body and mind a well-deserved rest. The problem with work is that once you've completed one task, there's always another waiting, a bit like housework. But even though it may feel as though you need to rush to get everything done, taking some time out can actually give you more energy and complete the task at hand. to complete the task at hand. Fairies love to snooze. They're telling you that 40 winks in the afternoon, also known as a power nap, could be beneficial for you. The strong message here is to get some rest. This card could also be saying that you're playing too much. Perhaps you're procrastinating when you ought to be working. You need to be really honest with yourself about this, as only you will know if you have the right balance of work, rest, play in your life. Okay. Vanilla and Pie, just to let you know, the people who are getting readings at the moment are people who have put in a beautiful, kind donation, and they've actually done it before the show even started. So that's why they're getting the preferences right now. So yes, finding that balance between work, rest, and play, very, very important. And the cool thing is that if you model that for yourself, you'll also be, if you do it for yourself, you'll also be modeling it for your children, so that they can also comprehend the requirement for rest, and that not everything has to be go, 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 and also the rest from technology as well. Okay, that's really important to teach them that. And for ourselves too, because quite often we get stuck into technology, and we'll be sitting there, and next thing you know, 3 hours later's gone by, and you're like, oh jeepers, I was supposed to go and do something. All right, we got more play. Play is your theme this week, apparently. Celebration. Get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out and dance and play. An invitation could be on the way. An invitation to a special occasion could be on the way. So it's time to put on your dancing shoes, or be ready to kick off your shoes and dance in bare feet in nature. Have you been working too hard recently? Notice the theme? Perhaps you've just forgotten what it's like to have fun. It's so easy to get wrapped up in work and the more mechanical and mundane activities of daily life, which means we often forget to prioritize essential fun time. This card reminds you it's time to celebrate. Whether you go out or stay in, perhaps you could invite some good friends around and host your own fairy-themed party, or even a fairy ball. Even when times are challenging, there's always something to celebrate. You don't need an official reason. Just being alive is more than a worthy cause for celebration. Dance, rejoice, and celebrate life in all of its magical glory. Do you have a birthday soon? Or is there a special anniversary coming up that may have slipped your mind? Always make sure you keep a diary to mark down special occasions, so that you never miss a thing, and have your party clothes ready just in case you receive an unexpected invitation. It's good to be spontaneous, as that's where an extra sprinkling of fairy dust and magic occurs. Fairies are excellent at celebrating. They find the fun even in the little things and need no excuse for a party. The energy of celebration is around you right now. So there we go. It's time to let loose, let your hair fly free. Go have some funny. Go have some fun. Go have some fun. All right. Especially this week, apparently. Right. So after you've gone and shaken your sillies out, we have healing. Now is a time for you to give or receive healing. Everyone has a natural ability to heal others. Yes, even you. Yes, 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 yes. And even though you're sitting there going, oh, I don't think so. Yes, you do. You think about it, when your kids get hurt, they run to mum, because mum makes them feel better. The fairy of healing has flown into your reading today to let you know she can help you to heal yourself or another. Healing can take many forms, even just through listening. That's so true. Like all those times you think about it when you get together with your female friends and just being in the same room and listening can really help ease some pain. When we feel we're being heard, it can make us feel better. So people who have the ability to listen with love and without judgment are already healers. Sometimes just being in the presence of someone who is receptive to our thoughts and feelings can help us to feel uplifted and healed. Hands-on healing is a technique many feel drawn to, and perhaps this is something you too wish to explore. Are you in need of healing yourself? It's important to listen to your body and take time out so it can heal naturally. Make sure you're getting all of the correct vitamins and nutrients. Sleep can also be an amazing healer. Those power naps. This card could also be a reminder that you or someone close to you requires a visit to a health professional. The Fairy of Healing can assist you with your healing journey, whether you're using conventional or complementary healing methods. The Fairy of Healing is also asking you to explore healing therapies that may be new to you, such as aromatherapy, flower essences, or hands-on healing. Art therapy is especially helpful for younger people as it allows them to express their feelings through the use of color and painting. This can aid their healing. As this card shows up next to Find Balance, which it has not, this card indicates your need for extra rest right now. No, it hasn't. So we're okay there. However, do you know what also helps heal? Sleep. Play. Sleep heals. Laughter heals. Smiling heals. I was watching something today. I think it was the Gardner Brothers. They're a couple of tap dancing Irish brothers, and they're currently living in Nashville, in the US. And they were doing a video today, or I saw a video that they had done, and I was looking at them when they were doing their thing, like they were talking to the camera, and it was like they're all smiles, but it didn't reach their eyes. And I thought to myself, that's interesting. I wonder why it's not up at the eyes. Mind you, I see a lot in photos. I get a lot of information from photos and stuff. And so it was just like, they're not really feeling this one. That's interesting. And I was like, I wonder why. I wonder why they're not really feeling this particular video. Is it because maybe they've had to do it a lot of times? Maybe their surroundings, the environment wasn't playing the ball. Maybe it was because they're tired. Maybe, I don't know what it was. Yes, Edwina. Is your smile reaching your eyes? Or is it just staying here? And up here it's like serious. Oh, dear. Because your next card is Transformation. Love this card. Isn't she gorgeous? This fairy tells you to surrender to a transformation in your life that is happening for your highest and good. Embrace your transformation. The best is yet to come. The caterpillar has no idea it's about to transform into a beautiful butterfly. The fairy of transformation has flown into your reading to remind you that you're transforming or are about to transform. Change can be challenging, but it can also be exciting as you witness your own beautiful transition into a new you. Butterflies are messengers from the fairy realm. So if you see a butterfly, be aware of what's going on for you in your life or what you were thinking when you saw the butterfly. The butterfly can act as a spiritual exclamation mark, highlighting the answer to a question you asked during the reading. Whatever your current circumstances, know that things are changing and transforming for the highest good for all. The Fairy of Transformation wishes to remind you that change can be more amazing than we can ever imagine. When we let go and surrender to the natural changes that occur in our lives, the process of transformation can be a beautiful experience. Change and transformation can also have a ripple effect on those around us. Sometimes people resist change, making it unpleasant and painful experience. So, seeing you willingly transform with love and trust may have a super positive influence on their personal experience of transformation. This fairy tells you which parts of yourself and your life are ready to transform. So, follow her lead and allow and trust and flow. All is well. So, something that is really important to know is that when we transform, it's not always easy. However, if you think about it, you get a caterpillar, right? And it's going along and it's munch, 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 munch. And then it goes, I don't know, but I feel like I need to go into a cocoon now, this thing, and I need to wind some silk around me. So I'm going to spit out the silk and I'm just going to keep going and going and going. And then I'm going to seal myself in here. And I don't know why, but something's going to happen. And then their body literally goes to mush. And it rejiggers itself to creating a butterfly or a moth or whatever. Now, that's absolute trust in the process. So instead of trying to control the process, what if you just trusted it? What if you stopped trying to resist and react to the process and just trusted? So something, just to give you an idea of what I mean by that, is one of the things that happened on Tuesday when I tried to gas myself was it was actually a big door opening for me for my next upgrade. When I upgrade, I require rest, and a lot of it. Often just for like a 24-hour period, but I require rest. And quite often what will happen is there'll be something around me that conspires with my higher self to create that moment where that space is created. And it wasn't until about halfway through Wednesday, and I asked the question, truth, is this part of an upgrade? And it was like, yep. And the reason why I asked that question was because there was a point where the previous day I'd been looking at things and it was like I could see through half of it, like it didn't exist. I was seeing through the molecules almost to the other side. And it was very weird. Not so easy to drive when you're only seeing half of the things on the road. But that was the reason why I asked, is this an upgrade? Part of an upgrade. Quite often upgrades will appear as things like coughs, colds, flu type symptoms. But every now and then it shows up in a slightly different way. And I've been asking a lot of questions around my eyesight and stuff lately. So, and a lot of like healing type stuff around my eyesight. So I'm kind of not surprised that that's what happened there. And so I just wish to put that out there, that if you've got some really interesting things happening with your body at the moment, that could be part of an upgrade. Ask your body. It might not be as you seem. You might be transforming. You might be in a space of transformation. In fact, you are. And that's when the body does very unusual things. So, yeah. So, all right. This is quite relevant, actually, as we're coming in through to winter. Oh, this is a very hard card for you to see. There we go. I think that's the best angle for you. And this says, wait for winter. During the colder months, the fairy queen of winter will help you to manifest your most heartfelt wishes, as long as your intentions are for the highest good of all. Wishes or spiritual seeds made in your heart will come to fruition during the winter months, emerging like winter berries, ripe and full of promise. The fairy queen of winter, with snowflakes on her wings, comes to remind you to keep your faith. Remember that all wishes, like seeds, grow in the darkness until they are ready to burst forth into the light. Are you ready to receive your wishes? Part of the wishing process is to prepare yourself for their manifestation. This could involve removing any psychic ties or spiritual obstacles that have been holding you back from the full realization and birthing of your dreams into this earthly realm. Wherever you live in the world, you'll know the fairy queen of winter is nearby when the weather turns cooler or when you see snowdrops pushing up through the snow. This is a sign that your wishes too are soon to bloom. Sorry guys, if you can hear the helicopter, that's fun. Or if my reception goes out a little bit, because that can mess with the satellite sometimes. Remember that our wishes don't always manifest in the way that we envisaged. They will come to be in whichever way is perfect for all concerned and for the highest good of all. Be especially receptive to any ideas or inspiration that float into your mind around that magical time of winter. It's also the time to practice divination using winter-related mediums such as snowflakes or ice. Good luck there. If you live in a country that has cold winters, if you don't, you can use ice cubes. I don't know how to use ice cubes as divination tools, but perhaps this is one of your gifts. I say, have some fun and play with some ice. You can even use ice as like creative art project stuff. Sometimes people use ice in tie-dyeing. So there's some cool stuff there with ice. Water ice. So the other things that I'm getting for you, Edwina, is the space of feeling like I'm feeling a great sadness, actually. And this is like deep, the best words I can put to this energy is deep feminine grief. And it's not all yours. However, you are the one here to be working through and healing that. And that's part of your journey in this lifetime. And it's not easy. Not easy at all. And it's going to come out with your kids. It's going to come out in your relationship to yourself. It's going to come out as a space of not enoughness in your world. And this is the big invitation to you to make peace with that quote unquote darker side of yourself, the anger, the grief, the sadness, the deep feminine anger, grief, and sadness. I would highly recommend to you to have a listen if you haven't listened to it. There is a meditation that I put up quite a few months ago now, and it was with Kali, Black Madonna, and Tara, I think. And it's about embracing the dark feminine within. So when you've got a chance, find that on my YouTube channel. Hang on, I'll do you one better. I'll come over here and I'll grab it up. Oh, no, I don't want to go in like, oh, maybe I do. I'll get it up for you so that you can have a look. Okay. And for anybody else who's like going, oh, that sounds really good. Okay. There would have been easier ways for me to do this. I do apologize. So yeah, that a part of what this is allowing you to, in a safe place, acknowledge the parts and pieces of you that maybe you don't really like to think about too much. There we go. Pretty sure this is the one. Yeah. Okay. Where did you go? Okay. There we go. All right. All right. So that there is a meditation, and that is to do, and it has got those beautiful goddesses in it. It was inspired from a book that I listened to around that time, and it was to do with the dark feminine and all of that sort of stuff. But it's going back quite a ways, so I don't know if I can find that book particularly easily. The Power of the Dark Feminine by China Galland, sorry. That was it was only not even a 3-hour book, but it affected me profoundly. So I think that would be a really great space for you to sort of help deal with some of the sadness, anger, grief that's going on, that you're trying to hide behind that pretty little smile of yours. But yeah, your team is showing me it's time to acknowledge that and understand it. Understanding is your yummy card. Okay. So yeah. Thank you so much, Edwina, for your amazing, beautiful, super generous, kind donation. I am so grateful for you, and I hope that helps. You've got some really cool stuff coming through this week, but rest when you can. Take little power naps and just work on some of that balance of the play, the work, the rest, and it's okay that you're going through this very transformative space right now. Okay. And celebrate your wins. Celebrate those wins, because they're pretty damn amazing. And you're amazing. Thank you, Edwina. Thank you. All righty. Let me just catch up on the chat. Yeah, my grandmother's birthday is actually the 4th of May. So she's very easy to remember. Oh dear. So yes, for those of you who didn't catch that, my grandmother turned 90 this week. And she still rides her horses. She had a fabulous day. She got to a couple of days actually. She caught up with some friends of hers from one group of her life, and then she caught up with some other friends from her horsey friends, her horse riding friends, and had a lovely cup of tea, afternoon tea thing with them. And yeah, she had a great time. So it was so lovely to hear from her. And Paul has popped in. Hello, Lorene from USA. I got Liam graduation wrong. Not tell me June 19. Oh, yeah. He told me to get with it. Oh, dear. Yes, young ones. Gotta love it. Hope you have a great week at work, Paul. Have a great weekend. Good to hear from you. Thank you for popping in. I just love it how he does that. He just pops in, says a few bits, pops out. That's great. And congratulations to Liam for his graduations and all that sort of stuff. Even if he did, I think, maybe get you to get alcohol and he wasn't supposed to. Not a young boy. Hi, Melissa. Thank you for popping in again. Yeah, it was lovely having that reading with you and Travis last time. I appreciate that. Oh, you're welcome, Edwina. You're doing great, hun. You're doing really, really well. Seriously, the upgrading journey. She's a long one. She's a big one. And there's little steps and sometimes there's big leaps, and sometimes they can wipe us out for a day or two. Sometimes it's just like a little like, oh, bleh. Okay, yeah, cool. We'll keep going now. Yeah. So just know that you're doing really, really well, because your team they tell me. So yay. Alrighty. Miss Tamara, what would you like to know this week? Oh. Pop in Paul. Yes, Melissa, you're not wrong. Pop in Paul. He's great. He lets me know how things are going with all of his marriage, his wedding plans, and all sorts of things. It's great. Alrighty, Miss Tamara. What would your team like you to know for the month of May? Big question. All right, let's have a look. See which card deck wishes to come and play. Of course. Hey. Go big or go home. Yes. Hello, team. So funny. There are like people who think that when I yawn like that it is and I try to make it as not as like too like but it's actually more often than not, it's actually your teams, one stepping out and the other one stepping in. And it's kind of like my body becomes a bit of a revolving door for a minute. Like, so the energies are moving around, and it's like how I help to move those energies through my body is to yawn. And of course, now that I'm yawning, now everybody's yawning, including me. But I'm not tired. But a lot of people misinterpret the yawning as being tired. Isn't that fun? Sometimes I am tired. I will give you that. Sometimes. But more often than not on a Friday. I'm curious to know if you've got these cards, Tamara. You probably have. But this is only the second time they've ever been used on the show. Curious yet? I would be. Oh, dear. Ooh, interesting. Oh, you're gonna have an interesting month. Hope you're ready to start taking notes. So, do you yet have the Ancestral Healing Oracle? I'm curious. Yes, it's the first time with you. First time. So this deck is only being released last year, 2025. So Ina has been doing this series of, what did she call them? Masterclasses. I think there might still be a couple of them floating like that you can do. They're free. You just got to set aside about 3 hours. Although she has got the replays that you can buy for a very small amount. If you've gone to or couldn't be there on the day or whatever. But there is a beautiful, amazing healing that she does during the masterclass, which is well worth it. And anyway, she did on the one that I listened to, was present for. She drew a card from this deck, and I was like, oh, I've been asking a lot about ancestral healing lately. I got to get this deck. So I did. And fortunately, it arrived very fast. So the first card that you've got is this one. There we go. Isn't it a cool card? And it is number 8, which is start living fully. Let go of the protective shells. From childhood, most people are taught to put up protective shells to keep safe and avoid pain. These barriers stop you from connecting with others, opening your heart and living fully. Instead, you live on guard and in fear. Certain experiences can trigger past traumas and activate the fight, flight, or freeze responses in your astral body and nervous system because you become stuck. You may have created shells around your nurturing feminine self and thus stopped listening to your intuition and taking care of yourself. Or maybe you were criticized for wanting to do something unique, so you have barriers around success. You perhaps carry extra weight that could be related to feeling unsafe and unsupported. You may even be holding self-hatred, depression, and anxiety from past experiences. The time has come for you to recognize how you have protected yourself from getting hurt and release all the shells that limit you from living fully. So with this, there is a healing practice, and I will read the healing practice to you. We are at 1 hour and 30 minutes if you wish to note down the time. Close your eyes and focus on how you feel inside. If this is resonating for anybody else, do the healing practice with us. So close your eyes and focus on how you feel inside. Recognize where you are feeling, where you are numb, where you feel you are numb or protecting yourself, and breathe into this area. If this protective energy had a shape, what would it be? If it could share with you why it is protecting you, what would it say? Listen to the messages you are receiving and allow any insights to come to you. Reflect on how you can release any protective mechanisms within yourself that don't work and open your heart to something new. If you could give yourself permission to be courageous, what would you do? Interesting, huh? So start living fully. That is part of your message for this month. This next one surprised me, but it may not after I've read the thing. Okay. It is number 30. Check that card out. It is to reconnect with your divine masculine. Interesting, eh? Embrace your adventurous spirit. You have felt hurt by certain men in your life who you were close to, which can cause you to resent and harbor a negative perspective towards the masculine. If you are struggling to embrace your adventurous, structured, goal-orientated self, it's time to meet your divine masculine, an aspect that can offer you wisdom, valor, chivalry, and can guide you towards clarity and perseverance. If you are in search of a masculine partner, it can draw someone special into your life, a person who will offer you the qualities that make your heart sing. On the other hand, if you feel as though you are trying to make things happen in the outside world but keep meeting resistance, working with this archetype can offer you fresh perspectives and reveal the steps you require to take. You are also likely to attract the help you require to make your dreams come true. Your divine masculine can play the role of a father figure you may have yearned for but never had. Through the influence of this archetype, you may be able to champion your inner child and reparent your younger self, thus offering yourself the support and encouragement you desired from your father. Okay. Let's have a look at this healing practice too. I think we're going to do them all. Maybe do that in favor of doing a meditation tonight. Your healing practice, connect with the right side of your body, which represents your masculine side. So everybody join along. Just close your eyes for a moment, take a big deep breath, and just become really keenly aware of your right hand side. If you could imagine your masculine archetype, would this part of you look healthy or unhealthy? If it's unhealthy, explore what you believe about making things happen in the outside world, as well as what you feel about men that you have been close with. If your beliefs are limiting, this is an opportunity to release them. By connecting with your divine masculine archetype, you might be able to tap into a source of masculine wisdom that will assist you to change your perspectives and heal your relationships and move forward. So this is a little bit of a information searching type like exercise. So I can tell you from what I'm perceiving that as I tap into your space, because I was like, I just double checked, is this mine or is it yours? No, it's yours. That it's like burnt and crispy on the edges. And, like the edges of an egg that have just gotten a bit too burnt and crispy. So what that actually tells me is that your perspective of the divine masculine and of men in general is quite fragile. And with that fragility, it gets reflected back to you too. So there becomes a perspective that doing what you have to do in the outside world is maybe not safe, not as solid as what you would like. So that stops you, it holds you back, creates that little bit of like a in your world. So yes, play with that role of the father figure. Maybe I will do a meditation. See, anyway, that was 30. Love this deck. Absolutely freaking love it. Here's the next one. So we've gone from the father to the mother. Sort of. Well, it looks like the mother on here, doesn't it? Develop familial compassion. Understand your family's struggles. While you may be nursing some hurts from particular family members, it is important that you spend time understanding their life story. What happened to them that shaped their particular personality and outlook on life? When you understand the experiences that created the inner foundation, you can find compassion. Can you find compassion for their struggles? This can help you to step out of judgment, condemnation, and harshness, and instead see those individuals in a new light. If they still play a central role in your life, you can create clear, healthy boundaries that come from a place of benevolence. Empathy softens your heart and leads towards kindness to yourself and others. And you then have an opportunity for self-forgiveness, especially when you have been harsh or unkind to those close to you. The more conscious you become of your own patterns, the more you can work on refining those and start to lead by example. This will transform your relationships with your kin, especially with your children or grandchildren if you have them. Cool, that's a big one. All right, So the healing practice, for those of you who are playing along at home, who are the people that challenge you the most in your family? What expectations do you have of them? If they have not lived up to your expectations, you need to imagine placing yourself in their shoes, exploring what they have been through, and being honest with yourself about their capacities to be someone you can connect with heart to heart. If that's not possible, reflect on what kind of relationship will be healthy for you to have with those people. And then look for your soul family where you can be fully yourself while sending love and being kind to your blood family. Sometimes it's not easy being close to blood family. That's very true for me. There's very few of my blood family that I have a particularly close relationship with. And a big part of that is because I was destined to be here to break a lot of the pathways, the toxic pathways, and I get to do that energetically. And yes, I did a lot of healing and stuff, a lot of breaking of those pathways when I was young and in the home and around them. And the first 30 odd years of my life was all about that. Being here and at a distance now, it's very different. But I'm still very aware that the healing that I do for myself, especially when it comes back to family, it ripples out over to them too. And I see that more so in my nieces and nephews as they're coming through into their adult years. And the work that I'm doing is inspiring other members of my family who are open to listening. And they're doing the work too, in their own ways. We don't sit down and have a big, huge Zoom session about it. but you know, little bits just come through here and there, and I go, I see you, right? And on a similar theme, number 27, which is go beyond survival mode, change your perspective. It's easy to get stuck in survival mentality of having just enough. Yet if you transform your thinking and beliefs around what is possible, you are likely to make a huge shift in your experience and attract into your life. Huge shift in what you experience and attract into your life. If you come from a family where people have struggled to put food on the table, then your foundation has been built on scarcity. Lack attracts lack. Constantly struggling and experiencing a stage of fear is no longer tolerable. So stop making excuses and start taking massive steps forward. It's time to make new connections and find mentors who can teach you how to live each day fully and experience freedom and choice. Release any guilt about or allegiance to how your family thought or operated. Free yourself from their potential judgments and disapproval. As long as you live from a place of inner integrity, follow your heart's wisdom and perseverance, even when it's challenging, you will eventually succeed. You will also live a full life from a place of deep satisfaction. The doors are open. You just need to change your perspective and start exploring from a fresh point of view. The healing practice for this one: take some time to reflect on what you desire and then explore what it would look and feel like to have more than enough. Attempt to connect with your wondrous inner child, the part that loves new discoveries and adventure. Ask this younger you to help you dream and become curious and creative. Each day, do something that is fun, joyous, and creative while still taking a courageous step forward. It's time to move towards the types of activities, experiences, and work that makes you thrive. So this is about finding the safety within you, feeling safe enough within you, because truly that's the only way that you break that sense of survival mode, the need for survival mode in your system, which of course survival mode is fight, flight, freeze, fawn, which is also massive amounts of cortisol into your system. And with those massive amounts of cortisol in your system, it's in that never-ending toxic cycle of fight, fright, freeze, fawn. It's activating your polyvagal system and your parasympathetic nervous system. It stops you from living fully. It stops you from being able to be in balance with your masculine and feminine. And it stops you from being able to see more of, or it makes it harder for you to see more of the beautiful gifts in life. And so this is going to be a very fucking intense month for you. If you allow it to contribute to you. Because the other thing I'm seeing is that if you do not do this work, if you do not develop a more loving relationship and reconnect with your divine masculine energy, you're going to stay in survival mode. You'll get to the end of this month and you'll still be in survival mode, and it'll still feel like everything's against you. So come back to that space of lovingness. Reach out to the people in your world who, even if that feel like family, your soul family, that will not only give you the yay, keep going, but they'll also kick you up the butt. They'll also hold you to account of going, that's not true. Stop beating yourself up. I'm going to challenge you on that. You are not that fucked up. Stop saying that. Stop diving into self-doubt. It's not helping. And if one of your close friends, you feel like you can trust enough to say, hey, like this month especially, can you pull me up? If I start going into any of that sort of self-doubt bullshit, can you please pull me up? As soon as you notice. Don't dive in there with me. That'll make a huge difference, because we can get into a little bit of a flow with it, right? And if you're anything like me, there's that little part of you that's a bit like competitive that goes, well, if I tell them to tell me or to pull me up if I'm doing something, I'll make damn sure I pull myself up first, because I don't like being told what to do. So let that work in your favor. Let that competitiveness, that little slice of competitiveness, work for you rather than against you. Right? So be a good sport. And I know you love your sport. So be a good sport. And see this as like, yeah, like you said, go big or go home, right? So now's the time. It's all about the communication and the love of self in this next week, especially. Yes, there's some ancestral stuff to do in there. Yes, you're going to have to go within. Yes, there's some inner child, but the larger focus seems to be actually making peace with your inner masculine, your divine masculine. Okay. Guidance is your yummy card. Okay, so guidance is saying it's your divine inner wisdom. Okay, it's you and your higher self. Your higher self knows what is true for you. It's only your ego that's getting in the way. And the ego can only work from what you've experienced already, right? Whereas your higher self taps into the collective wisdom, taps into, the source of the no thing, the womb of the no thing, God, Sophia, whatever you like to call it. That's what your higher self's job is. So seek the wisdom of your higher self. Seek, if you've got access, if you know how to get into your Akashic records and you can use that, you've got a lot of tools at your fingertips. Now's the time to use them. But in particular, around your divine masculine and finding that place of compassion. It's not about finding blame, it's about compassion. And how do you create compassion? There's forgiveness, but mostly forgiveness of self. Once you have the forgiveness of self, everything else works. Yeah? Peace. And it's okay to take your time. It's the last thing I wish to say. It's okay to take your time. Do you not have to be in survival mode, going speedy through things? I process incredibly fast. And I actually have to physically tell myself it's okay to slow down. Because I've realized last year that in my healing process, part of the reason why I process so bloody fast, apart from the fact it's just a natural skill, is because it was the easiest and best way for me to remain safe while I was in survival mode. I'm not in survival mode anymore. I do not require to process that quickly anymore. It's like, it's okay to take time to heal. It's okay to take time to decompress. It's okay to take time to really tap in on what your divine masculine wishes to say, what your inner child wishes to say, what your divine feminine wishes to say. And in the process of remothering yourself and refathering yourself, that's really important. Take your time. Okay. Thank you so much, Tamara, for your beautiful donation. I'm so super grateful for you. Thank you for being here. And I hope that this month proves to be an exciting one for you. Because I know I look at that and I go, ooh, lots to work with. Excellent. That's awesome. I like having those moments of direction, because quite often when I'm like looking at things, I go, oh, yeah, but I could go in a million different directions. Which one do you wish me to go in? So there we go. That's the Ancestral Healing Oracle from Ina Segal. I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, there was a lot, wasn't there, Tamara? There was a lot. It's a good stuff. Lots of good stuff. We love the goddess Ina. Structure is good. It was one of the reasons why I really loved going to my counselor last year, counselor / mentor, really, because it gave me the right kind of structure. Like a monthly visit helped me to just keep on track, to go, yep, I know, like, this is what I've looked at working on, and I did these questions from her, and then it was like, okay, cool. And then I came back the next month and I was like, okay, well, I did those questions. She's like, awesome. And she'd also go, you know, you don't have to do the questions right. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have to. However, I really like it because it helps me to sit and dive in, because I know that these, and then I was thinking about it. I've had lots of journal type books, like gratitude type books that have had, you know, prompts in them. And I don't like them. Yet I loved it when my counselor, she's a holistic counselor, when she gave me questions. What was the difference? Those questions were tailored specifically to me. They were not generic. That was the difference. Interesting, right? Mm. All right, my beautiful ones. Oh, that had bits in the bottom. I need to finish this tea before it gets cold. Although, given that it's got the blue lotus in it, doesn't matter if it gets cold. It's just, it matters when there's bits in the bottom. I'm going to have some great dreams. That was something while I was in Tassie. Man, sleeping out in the bush, I had so many dreams. So many dreams. They were just like thick and fast, and there was just like wow. And it wasn't because I was sleeping on someone else's pillow. I was sleeping on my own pillow. I brought it from home. But I have heard that that can happen when you sleep out in nature, that there's something about the walls of your house and that sort of stop the energies from flowing quite so easily from nature or through nature. Whereas when you're out either in a caravan or a tent or whatever like that, the energies can definitely move through a lot more. So yeah, interesting. All right. We haven't done the gratitude poetry book for a little while. So we are going to expand out. And then the question I think that we'll focus on is around this week to come, perhaps. Actually, no. The question that we are going to focus on is around your body and your relationship to your body. Okay? So just keep that in mind as we're going through this expanding out process. And then we will do the gratitude book, and we'll find out some answers to some questions. All right. So closing your eyes now, taking a big deep breath in. And breathing out. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. Breathing out, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. Breathing out, bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Keep breathing low and slow. Become aware of your body. Relax your shoulders, relax your back, relax your legs and your feet and your hands. Relax your jaw, relax your neck and throat. Relax your forehead, relax your ears, relax your cheeks, relax your eyes, relax your belly. And now expanding out your awareness in a big bubble all around you. Up into the sky and down into the earth. With you in the center, expanding out your awareness beyond the size of the country that you're on. Expanding out your awareness greater than the size of the planet. Greater than the size of the solar system. Greater than the size of the galaxies. Greater than the size of the universes. Take a big deep breath in. Allow your body to just continue to relax that little bit deeper. And focusing on your body once more, and grabbing your sense of allowance and expanding that out. In a big bubble all around you, expanding out your internal allowance, out beyond the size of your home, out beyond the size of the country, up into the sky, way down into the earth, greater than the size of the planet. Expanding out your sense of allowance, greater than the size of the solar system, greater than the size of the universes, greater than the size of the galaxies. And now expanding out your allowance, greater than your awareness. Beautiful. Take a big deep breath in. And out. And now with the question in mind of knowing what guidance we have or what information would like to be shared with us about the relationship that we have with our body. What number between and including 1 and 88 would give us the greatest insights into the relationship with our body in this moment and for the week ahead? Please type that into the chat now. I know there's a little bit of a delay, in between that. So, yay, Catherine. Catherine has chosen 72. This is called Morning Sky. The fiery red sky reflected from the golden glow below. The red blip distracting from the flow of gold, easing out into the valley like a long snake unfurling from slumber. Standing naked and wrapped in a blanket, gazing out over the Hawke's Bay towards Napier waterfront from the Eskdale shore area, a beautiful black Labrador at my feet, and marvelling at the twinkling beauty of the city nightlights combined with the magnificence of the brilliant red sky. Catherine, what I get with this for you and the relationship with you and your body is that you have these moments where you think nobody's watching, and they likely aren't, but because nobody's watching, you're in the absolute realness and deliciousness of who you truly be. And what I'm seeing with this is that for you to continue that expansion of that energy beyond those moments of self-luxuriousness, if you like, where you're in your absolute deliciousness and vulnerability, and you know everything is just flowing and humming for you. Allow that energy out into the other areas of your life. Allow that energy to start moving through your other relationships that you have with friends or family or a loved one or whatever. And as you allow that energy to move through all the areas of your life, they'll all start bouncing up a little bit higher. And the clunkiness that might be happening in the other areas of your life with interactions with other people start to smooth out. So, you know, have in mind those moments where you just feel so sumptuous and delicious and sexy and loved and, you know, sparkly. And if you're having to catch up with other people and you're maybe not quite feeling like that, remember that moment and bring that energy through your body and allow it to come out. Okay? And in doing so, you'll strengthen your relationship with your beautiful, amazing, incredibly creative body. Okay? That's what I got for you. Thank you for coming to play. Melinda, let us see. You got 26, which is solitude. I sit here alone, but not lonely. I'm thinking of you and how long it will be till we are together again. We can survive, you and me. We are strong and the bond grows every day. I miss you and you miss me. But while we are together, we will never be lonely. there's a line right at the end that of the blurb. The rest of it is just kind of like not really relevant. So I'll just read this last little line. It was a 4-hour bus ride to see each other, and so our time together was happy but limited. Okay, so that particular line there is really relevant for you. How much are you limiting the happy space you feel with your body? How much are you choosing to not be in that loving, delicious space of summer love with your beautiful body every single day, even in the middle of winter, because you're too busy? Busy with work, busy with the cat, busy with family, busy. This is your invitation to, a little bit like Catherine, enjoy that space of summer loving your body and being with your body in that way. Of, when you hop out of the shower and you might be doing some moisturizer and stuff, instead of just going rub, whatever, be gentle about it. Be soft. Take your time. At the end of the day, when your feet have done all that standing and all that walking on concrete floors, get that lovely moisturizer and rub it into your feet and thank them dearly for all the hard work that they've done today. Love on your body like a summer teenage lover would. In, all the cheesy movies. That's the thing of what I was getting mostly here. It's like your body is feeling a little bit in solitude from you and your love. So it's time to bring that back up and make it a little bit bigger. Okay? This was a cool experiment. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you for coming to play. And I know that you're all curious about what mine was. So I got number 53, which was keep. And it says, keep your gorgeous smile shining and your wonderful eyes bright. Keep your arms ready and your heart open. Keep your mind receptive and your soul peaceful. Now, the interesting thing with this one, it was actually written on my birthday. Back in 1999. A birthday poem to me, from me, about me. A gentle reminder to be me and never become hard or bitter no matter what happens. Happy 21st to me. That weekend that I lost my best friend, my family paid a surprise visit. I announced our engagement to my first husband, and a letter from my father sent me into a shock and then off to counselling. And in that week, I also had my push bike stolen. What an interesting week that was. So what that is a reminder to me in regards to my body is obviously the poem. Keep smiling. Keep my eyes bright. Keep seeing those wondrous things out there. Keep seeing the possibilities. Don't become bitter and spiteful and or hard. It's like it would be very easy for me to become hard, especially when it comes to the opposite sex. It's fortunate that I'm working in an industry now where I work with a lot of women and a lot of men. So that's actually a really good thing right now. As in, like, a lot of my clients, I got like 50-50 of both. My residential team, yes, it's a lot of women, but on the industrial team, it's a lot of men. So there's some really good balances there for me to be in that more soft space, which is really important for me right now. So, yeah. And much like both Catherine and Melinda, just coming back to that nice soft blue space. I love rubbing cream onto my feet at night. I have a special cream that I actually made myself using, let me see if I can remember, coconut butter, shea butter, and cocoa butter. And it's fantastic. In the wintertime, it does get a bit hard, but I'm sure I could probably melt it and whip it up again and it would probably be okay. But yeah, I love using it, and I use it all over my body. I use it on my face and my body, my feet, my other bits. Use it everywhere, and it's really, really good. My body loves it. I love it. So nice. Simple. No, like, not like got heaps of chemicals or anything in it. It's so good. Okay, my loves. As you probably gathered, I'm not really feeling having a meditation tonight. My body is saying it's tired. So we're going to end the show now. I hope you've gotten a lot out of it, and that you do something nice for yourselves over the weekend. And I hope the weather plays nice for you. And get out there, do something tasty for yourselves, connect with other people, enjoy this feeling of lots more communication happening. I'm sure many of you will feel like getting out and seeing your friends if you haven't seen them for a little while. And yeah, it's all good. So until next week, until next time, have a look at that meditation. For those of you who are interested, that I shared in the chat earlier, if you're on my YouTube channel, you will see it there, and it's about embracing the dark feminine within. That would be a really good one, or any of the other meditations that are already up there. Other than that, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends, and until next week, bye-bye for now.